When Brand New Day began in 2008, it wasn't just another Spider-Man comic, it was a total reboot of Peter Parker's world. Everything fans knew about him had been rewritten. Before this, during Marvel's Civil War storyline, Peter had made the boldest move of his life, revealing his secret identity to the world. He stood in front of cameras, unmasked, and said the words, "I'm Peter Parker, and I've been Spider-Man since I was 15 years old." That moment changed everything, but it also made him a target. Enemies knew who he was, and his loved ones were no longer safe. Then came the price of that decision. A bullet meant for him struck Aunt May, leaving her dying in a hospital bed. Desperate and broken, Peter turned to the one being who could change fate itself, Mephisto, Marvel's version of the devil. Mephisto offered a terrible deal. He would save Aunt May's life. But in return, Peter's marriage to Mary Jane would be erased from existence. The world would forget that they had ever been together. Peter and MJ agreed, sacrificing their love to save Aunt May. When the deal was done, reality shifted. The world woke up to a new timeline, one where Peter Parker had never revealed his identity. Aunt May was alive, and his marriage was gone. He was single again, struggling again. Just like the old days. This was Brand New Day. It was Marvel's way of giving Spider-Man a fresh start, a return to the young. Unlucky hero constantly balancing life and responsibility. The story promised new adventures, new villains, and a clean slate for Peter Parker. But beneath all that, something darker remained. Fans could feel it, the weight of everything Peter had lost, even if he couldn't remember it himself. The man who once shared his soul with Mary Jane was now living in a world that had forgotten their love. And that haunting truth made Brand New Day one of the most emotional and controversial Spider-Man stories ever told. Imagine waking up one morning and everything you ever fought for is gone. Your best friend doesn't know you. The woman you loved is a stranger. And the secret you once revealed to the world has vanished, like it never happened. That's what happened to Peter Parker after Spider-Man. One more day, and what followed next was Brand New Day, the story that completely changed who Spider-Man was. Both as a hero and as a man, the world Peter Parker woke up to after One More Day felt familiar, but eerily different. New York was still the same chaotic playground for crime and heroism, but Peter's life had been reset like a comic book time machine had spun backward. No wife, no stable job, no fame from revealing his identity. Just Peter Parker, broke, overworked, and constantly trying to make rent. In this new timeline, Peter's life returned to the struggling, everyday hero vibe that made him iconic in the first place. He was once again taking freelance photos for the Daily Bugle, clashing with J. Jonah Jameson and missing rent deadlines. But this time he wasn't alone. He had new roommates, a group of regular New Yorkers who had no idea their clumsy, kind roommate was secretly Spider-Man. This gave the series a lighter, almost sitcom-like tone in moments, showing that even superheroes need to deal with laundry, late rent, and awkward social lives, but it wasn't all humor. The Brand New Day era introduced some of the most memorable new villains Spider-Man had faced in years. There was Mr. Negative, a mysterious crime lord with the power to corrupt anything he touched, both literally and morally. Then came Menace, a goblin-like figure who terrorized the city with political motives, and Jackpot, a new hero who eerily reminded Peter of someone he used to know. Maybe a ghost of the life he lost with Mary Jane. These fresh faces brought danger and mystery back into Peter's world, grounding him in a universe that felt reborn yet uncertain. Behind the scenes, Marvel tried something never done before, a rotating team of top writers and artists, including Dan Slott, Mark Guggenheim, and Bob Gale, each brought a different flavor to Spider-Man's weekly adventures. The goal was simple, to remind readers that Spider-Man wasn't just about pain and sacrifice, he was also about resilience, humor, and hope. Still, under that mask, Peter couldn't escape the feeling that something was missing. His world was brighter, funnier, faster, but emptier too. The laughter at the Bugle, the swing across the skyline, even the cheers of New Yorkers below, they all echoed with the memory of something lost. Something his heart remembered even if his mind did not. Brand New Day wasn't just a story about starting over. It was about what happens when you're given everything back. Except the one thing that made you whole. When Brand New Day hit comic shelves, it didn't just rewrite Spider-Man's story, it split the fanbase in half. For some, it felt like betrayal. For others, it was a breath of fresh air. Readers who had followed Peter Parker's long journey, his marriage, his sacrifices, his growth, suddenly felt like it had all been erased overnight. The Peter they knew, the man who had matured through love and tragedy, was now a bachelor again, making jokes and chasing deadlines. It was like watching a friend forget who they were. Marvel's decision shocked many. The marriage between Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson had lasted for over 20 years in real-world time. Fans had seen them face loss, rebuild their lives, and stand together through every challenge. To see it vanish in one supernatural deal with Mephisto left readers angry and confused. Some called it a cheap reset, accusing Marvel of destroying years of emotional storytelling. Others defended it, saying the magic deal was symbolic, that Spider-Man, at his core, was meant to struggle, not settle, inside the story, though the consequences were deeper than a broken marriage. Even though Peter didn't remember the deal, traces of it lingered like ghosts in his life. Every time he looked at Mary Jane, there was a flicker of something, a connection he couldn't explain. They shared glances that felt heavier than words, like two people remembering a dream they once lived. These small moments reminded readers that no magic could truly erase the bond between them. Meanwhile, the Brand New Day creative team leaned into the controversy. They doubled down on the chaos in Peter's life. Every week brought new stories filled with heartbreak, humor, and danger. Spider-Man was broke again, hated again, but also more human than ever. It was a risky gamble, to rebuild the hero by stripping away everything familiar. As fans debated online, one thing became clear. Brand New Day wasn't just a storyline, it was a statement. It asked readers a painful question. Can a hero truly move forward if he's forced to forget the past? The answer wasn't simple. For Peter, every punch he threw and every joke he cracked carried the weight of something unseen, a memory buried deep inside him. And for readers, that ache made the story unforgettable. In the years that followed, Brand New Day became more than just a controversial chapter. It became the foundation for a new era of Spider-Man storytelling. What began as a risky reset slowly transformed into one of the boldest creative experiments in modern comics. Love it or hate it, Brand New Day changed how readers saw Peter Parker forever. Once the storm of fan outrage settled, something unexpected happened. Spider-Man began to thrive again. The rotating team of writers pushed the character in directions fans hadn't seen for years. Peter got a job at Frontline newspaper, became roommates with new, quirky friends, and faced villains who reflected modern-day fears. From corrupted power figures like Mr. Negative to media-obsessed foes who twisted the truth for fame. The world around Spider-Man felt alive again, more grounded and unpredictable. But beneath the fast-paced adventures, a quiet truth lingered. Brand New Day didn't erase Peter's pain, it reshaped it. The absence of Mary Jane's love made his victories lonelier and his failures hit harder. Each time they crossed paths, the chemistry was undeniable, but the distance between them was haunting. It reminded readers that even heroes can't always have happy endings, that sometimes saving one life means losing another piece of your soul over time. This new version of Spider-Man paved the way for some of Marvel's biggest future stories. Without Brand New Day, there wouldn't have been Big Time, where Peter finally found success as a scientist. There wouldn't have been Superior Spider-Man, where Dr. Octopus took over his body, forcing fans to see what made Peter truly heroic. And there wouldn't have been Spider-Verse, the multiversal epic that united every version of the character. Every one of those arcs traced its roots back to this reboot, to the moment Peter made that deal with Mephisto and started over. Looking back now, Brand New Day stands as both a tragedy and a rebirth. It reminded readers that Spider-Man's greatest strength isn't his web shooters or his powers, it's his resilience. No matter how much pain he endures, he always finds a way to swing forward. Maybe that's why, even after losing everything, Peter Parker still feels real to us. Because deep down, we've all had our own brand new day, moments where we've had to start over, rebuild, and find hope again, and that's what makes Spider-Man timeless. He doesn't just survive change, he becomes stronger because of it.